Both these people have spent their entire adult lives teaching children. Unfortunately, we see the results here today. That wasn't in the script, by the way. We've been friends, cohorts, and planners of evil deeds for a long time. Over 2 decades for me, and about 3 for the 2 of them. And we've had some really great times together, especially those nice, sunshiny walks we took in front of the high school a few years ago. Those were really fun. There are a lot of people to thank for a night like this. I'd like to thank Joyce Wells and Martha Blacker, without whom the little program wouldn't have gotten done, nor looked as nice. And Lavita for her phone calls. She's now in stock in Ma Bell. Jean Michaels for her undercover work, which may lead to a divorce in Michael's family. I don't know. And the light-fingered Biney, you'll understand that one later. Mr. Connor, would you like to make a few remarks at this time?
I want to thank you for coming. As Mrs. Small said, this is our 3rd annual retirement dinner, and I think it's a nice get-together for everybody, and to honor the people that have come through the doors of Blue Ridge High School. And I hope that it does continue on in the tradition of the high school. You know, it's every night you turn on the news, and I mentioned this the other night, you see the problems with children. And education is always condemned. They're doing this wrong, they're doing that wrong. 1 out of 3 kids, or I'm sorry, every minute, there's roughly 1 child that's killed by violence in America. 1 out of every 1 million kids in this country is undernourished. There is problems in this country. You turn on the news every night. You read the newspapers every day. There are problems throughout this country, and we have got to help the children. My point is this, and I want to leave it. I've known these 2 people for several years now, and it is because of these 2 people like them that Blue Ridge High School is what it is, and it is the epitome of excellence. The kids receive impeccable education, and I attest to that. Mr. Michaels, Ms. Richter, we thank you for everything that you have done for our children, and we hope that others that follow you will do half of what you've done for our children. Thank you.
Mike in front of Linda, then you can hear all this. There's one man who isn't here tonight who is actually the one responsible for both of these people being in this place. He was smart enough to be somewhere else tonight. He thought we might take this opportunity to lynch him. But he did send a personal message. So I would like to read that to you. I feel I must assume the responsibility for the careers in the high school district of these 2 retirees. That is why I did not attend tonight. And have to face everyone and explain why I hired them again. Yet you are due an explanation. In 1964, there was a shortage of girls' PE teachers. It gets better. But that year we had 3 outstanding applicants at Farmer City. 1 went to Champaign, 1 went to Gibson City, and 1 went to Sedora. This left me with 1 set of credentials when it was time for school to open, and what could I do but hire the applicant from Eastern Illinois University with the hometown of Oakwood? What I thought would be 1 year backfired on me as I just got so busy with the problems of Ken Michaels. got so busy with the problems of Ken Michaels, I forgot Linda Richter was down in the gym year after year. In Ken's case, we had a top science department, and the biology classes were the pride of Central Illinois. But that teacher chose to leave in the middle of the school year, and what followed was called Michael's years. Everything worked out very well. I just had Ken's classes go on a field trip whenever the regional superintendent the state certification board or the North Central Committee was in the school. I, of course, told Jimmy D that Linda and Ken were here when I came to Farmers. And he thought they held their age very well. Speaking of age, ask Linda how many times she has said to me, Mr. G, you just look the same as when I came here. But I thought you were old then. I do owe her one for that. Before the evening breaks down completely, I assume Froman will be there. Let me say I am sorry that I had plans for this evening made over 2 months ago, or I would be here. It has been my pleasure to know and work with these two teachers and to continue to be associated with them and as they continue to serve changing districts. I feel fortunate to have remained in touch with the Blue Ridge staff. The school, your people, and the students are still important to me, and I will always have fond memories of Linda and Ken, and my best wishes are extended to you as ever the old-timer Druid Roman. My apologies to the speech teacher over here. Both Ken and Linda have seemed somewhat concerned during the last month about all of this. I think they think we're going to say something bad about it. How they could believe that is beyond me. I mean, maybe they have guilty consciences. You two have something to hide? You won't be getting along.
I don't think
When I think about you, Ken, I think of the term Southern gentleman. You truly are one. You're kind, thoughtful, considerate, and courteous. Somehow I always think there's a twinkling-eyed little leprechaun back behind that smile, just ready to get you. Yesterday, you received the ultimate compliment from one of the senior boys in my civics class. They were discussing the fact that Ken was retiring, and one of them said, I like Mr. Michaels. He's a cool dude, man. Now, when someone our age, Ken, is cool, to a 17-year-old, that's a compliment. However, I do have a little note here from someone who really knows Ken better than any of us. One thing Dewey neglected to mention in his note was that when he hired Ken, he really got a 2-for-1 deal. We not only got Ken, we got Jean as well. The only thing better than that would be a 3-for-1 deal, but somehow I can't see Ken and Jean in the menage a trois. And then we'll be the one to know why we wouldn't invite the high school to get These are just a few memories. In college at Eastern Illinois University during Greek Sing, whenever the Chi Nu fraternity would take part, they would ask Ken to be there to add to the numbers. But they would say, Ken, don't sing, just mouth the words. During his student teaching days at Neoga High School, one night after attending a ball game, he fell into a hole and broke off his front tooth. When he smiles, you will still see a cap there. were dating, he was teaching in Bethany and Jean in Mattoon. He would drive back to Bethany late on Sunday evenings. He would say, I don't remember driving back. Maybe that's what makes him the driver's ed teacher. Ken has always been involved in caring for our sons since the day they were born, changing diapers, rocking fussy babies, or getting up for night feedings. He went through 3 emergencies when the boys had to be rushed to the doctor's office to have stitches. On one such traumatic time, the doctor was trying to stitch up our son with our assistance. Naturally, it was after regular hours and no nurse was available. And Ken started getting lightheaded. So the doctor told Ken that he should lie down in the hallway. He didn't need another patient. Ken loves to go fishing and recalls with fond memories those fishing trips to Minnesota with the Boy Scouts. Our son Greg, as well as Frank and Jenny Burkett, Ed Munsell, Pee Wee Schmidt, Scott Lee, and several others who also enjoyed these trips. Ken would get to do a lot of the cooking, and he talks about the time they put a ham on to bake and attracted a bear. Another exciting time was when he went out to the outhouse and just missed a mother bear in her tub. Guess nothing tastes as good as those walleye. Ken has become a collector of carnival glasses, and if you've been to his house, you know that. Whenever anyone comes, they see it sitting around, even around the walls on the floor, and stacked in boxes in the garage. It really has to be an addiction. Whenever he will go stand in an auction for hours to get a few pieces of glass. Or he will get up at 3 a.m. to drive to the flea market in St. Charles. Can you imagine him doing that at any other time? Well, Stan, I don't know how you're going to top that. You're going to do the honors to your fishing buddy? It's all yours.
Back to follow, I'll tell you. Once they asked me to be spokesman for the junior high in regard to Kent, I thought I'd look up the word retirement. I thought, gee, that, see what it is, because it's 5 and 5, and I know that Ron, looks real good after his retirement, and Don, so evidently it's, if I keep gaining weight, I'm going to have to retire so I can look like those two. The definition I found was retirement is to withdraw from action when in danger, which I think is appropriate. To withdraw from one's position or occupation, which I understood that part. Conclude one's working or professional career. And I didn't realize till what something was said a few minutes ago, this last part, it said to go to bed. Ken and I have known each other for 20-some years and taught together at the junior high school in the science department and health department and PE department and a few other things that we were involved with. It's an age which, of course, each day is different, that the age where the students are changing and their attitudes are changing and so forth. But we managed to survive. Also, we went through several administrators. For a while there, it seemed like we just had administrator after administrator. And that also, in different circumstances, was something that we had to deal with in a positive manner. And I think we still, a lot of time we confided in each other. And I think probably over the last 10 years, when we've actually been the closest, because we have taken up fishing, and I have taken the trip with him to St. Charles. Not to the boys' school, but up there. And I will tell Coach Diskin, of course, if you think you've got some fast guys on the track, you ought to go to a flea market. First time I went up there, we go up there early. I'm thinking we're going to the fairgrounds. We get up there and we end up going downtown St. Charles. There's about 3 or 4 shops there that he he knows by heart, and they know him. And we're going in, and he's looking for Chronicle glass. And I'm just looking because I have no idea what I'm looking for. And and we're there for an hour or so, and then we go to the fairgrounds, and I didn't realize that all these cars out there were people that were going to the same place we were going until the line starts forming, and then you just stand in line, you stand in line, you stand in line, and finally we get there, and then it's like the land rush. We all, at that point, everyone just kind of scatters. And Ken says, we'll get on this way, and it's building after building, and he can go through a building crowded with people with all these shops and all the little antiques and different things set up. And he can cut through traffic and see the spot, the carnival someplace on a shelf, and I haven't even got there yet. But we're more like the odd couple, I guess. He's one who is very meticulous in dress, and I can recall, I know Faye and I were talking the other day, Ken when he was in junior high, he can take an apple and he can peel the peeling off of it so that you can see through it. I mean, you realize we only have a 30-minute lunch break. And, he's busy peeling this apple when everyone else is busy chomping on theirs because we want time to talk at the end of those people. But he does it, and he's got his napkin spread, and very neat. Never gets anything on him until tonight. I wasn't going to say much about that. But, he's been on a diet. He lost several pounds. What, how many pounds? 34? 35. And I think tonight he found another way to lose weight. Wear your food on the outside, and that'll do it. But in the process of being together for years and going fishing and things of this nature, I couldn't ask for a closer friend. I think we all go through life and have a lot of acquaintances. We have a lot of friends that are distant, but we have maybe very few that are what you call close friends that you can really talk to. And I consider Ken in that category. And all I can say is that his retirement is, he keeps saying, once you retire, once you retire. I'm not quite ready or whatever, for whatever reason. And I think he wants me to go. I'm not sure I can stay up with him. So, because, yeah, I am. Well, I read somewhere, I think, the statement of a sign that you were getting old. A little gross, but the same kind of meaning. Whenever the hairs in your nose and your ears are growing faster than that on your head. Ken and his wife, Jean, I wish you the best of luck in the junior high. I'm still not sure, and you'll have to ask Margie Williams about this, but I remember one time we was at Mary Lou Morton, had a little late session with negotiation and whatever, and Marge came up with this, I don't know, they call it Sparkle. I don't know, but you'll have to explain. Marge and Jim will have to talk about Sparkle. Congratulations to both of them.
Would anyone else like to add anything to our little comments on it? Like
we have a little gift for Ken, being a compatriot with him in science for over 25 years. He reminded me the other day that he is the best in the world of anyone that I've ever seen do it this. So Ken, why don't you open that up? Right. We went to no expense at all, Ken, by the way.
Our Christmas trees on it.
We are going to miss that night, aren't we, in the lunchroom? I don't know how we're going to peel the apples there. Well, Ken can grow his own fruit flies, man. I have never seen a guy sex fruit flies faster. This was in seconds. The whole class was amazed. One other little science item. Sorry, Ken, about that. One other little science item that the first year that we taught together in 1969, Carol Garrison was the superintendent at the time. And CO, or Cobalt, as I called him, on the side. Nice guy, but he went out to garage sales, like we had here today, and he would always purchase different items. And one day, Ken and I came in, and he had a human incubator there. Now, we might be able to use that now, Ken. But we were a little worried. We were a little shocked with that. But, anyway, we've had a good time. The Michaelses from the Mattoon area, they've been very helpful to me. And Ken, it's been a pleasure working with you for the past 25 years. Thank you. Good luck in your retirement.
You're right, if you don't business. Would you like to have?
I don't think I can copy that.
You don't like yourself?
I would just like to say, thank you very much. I really had some doubts tonight when they began to talk about it. And I know there are things that I'm going to miss. Come August, it's going to seem strange after so many years. Not going back. So I'm sure I will miss that. Thank you very much.
We're all going to miss you too. Now it's time for the Linda roast. Linda, you've been a buddy for so long, I can hardly remember when I didn't know you, but it's been fun, especially with you and Rick. I won't forget the joy Linda gave my little grandson. He went fishing for the first time in her beloved pond over there, and he caught 50 tiny little fish. This day, 6 years later, he still remembers that Linda lady's pond and tiny little fish. Just as I know all of these girls who came back tonight remember the things Linda taught them. You've given them a lot of skills and values, Linda. And well, however, there have been some weird things in those decades also. And we do have a few of your buddies who would like to talk about some of those incidents. Which one of you two is going first? Beauty parade. Oh, bro, I'm gonna get up. Good evening.
I'm sure many of you are wondering why I, such a young whippersnapper, have been given...
Were we supposed to laugh now?
I'm starting over, but I give you the high sign. I'm sure you're wondering why I, such a young whippersnapper, have been given the awesome and somewhat dubious task of eulogizing our Miss Richter. Well, the truth of the matter is that she is so old. She's outlived or outlasted all the colleagues in her age. And I know all the dirt on LDR. Now, I believe in audience participation. So bear with me on this. We're going to play a little game. And we're going to begin here. Okay, now. Everyone who was a student of Miss Richter, please stand up. I see you can stand. Okay. Now, you can be seated unless you have also taught with Miss Richter. Okay, now all her colleagues, former and present, stand up. See, this is good exercise. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, we're good, we're good. Now take a look at how many people we have here. Okay, that's very good. Now, you can be seated. Our next group, we've got to know how we're all related here. Okay, the next group is families and longtime pals. So Liz and Lynette and Joyce and the family, and Levita, you can stand up now too. Okay, now your chance. Okay, all right, now you guys can sit down. All right, and now, Mark, this is your turn. Get ready. Last but not least, the spouses and dates who are dragged here tonight and don't even know Miss Richter. You guys feel free to take a walk, or just smile and look slightly bemused while we do Linda Richter stories here tonight. Now you'll notice that I did not take account of any of those groups. Note that. Okay. Most of you probably think I met Linda when I started teaching here in 1974. Well, I did. However, I recognize that tall, skinny, at that time, dark-haired athlete from a former association. You see, I worked summers through high school and college at East Bay Camp, Lake Bloomington. Well, Linda was one of the group leaders of the largest camps that went there for 2 weeks every summer. The infamous G.A.A. Well, to make a long story short, I rose in authority from lowly kitchen help to dining room hostess. And my job was to count the members of the group. Well, most of you know my great talent for numbers and figures. And needless to say, my count never jived with that of the group's official counter seated right there. Being the frugal person that she is, she argued daily over how many campers had actually eaten that meal. She always won. Of course, she was taller and meaner. You know, when I started teaching, there was no such thing as mentor teachers. I lucked out that there was a Miss Korbinski, and there was a Mrs. Williams, and there was a Mr. Hendricks, and of course, Mrs. Hauser and Miss Richter to take me under wing. Well, really, I think the reason Miss Richter would even consider talking to me, a person who couldn't block and chew gum at the same time, was because I earned her respect. You know, the place we associate with Linda's job isn't the Farmer City gym, or the high school gym, or even the school gym. It was Bud and Linda's gym. Bud and Linda had a love-hate relationship. Yeah, they're laughing. Bud always got his way, so part of the stage. It's all the bird domain. Arguing that the universal weight machine needed to go off that stage or up someone's left nostril. And that thespians singing Oklahoma were as entitled to that gym floor as halfbacks, shot putters, or center point guards. She actually became so frustrated that she punched B.M. in his famous stomach. Now, that was the first time I saw the famous Richter smile and twinkle. We've been pals. You know, Linda has taught me many skills. One is the ability to be the world's best con artist. In her quiet, unassuming way, she could get people to do things and give away things that they didn't even know they were doing it. One time I can remember the field hockey team needed new sweats. So Richter here sees an ad at Kmart. You know, we have to shop at the best. At Kmart, that they're having this deep dish deal on sweats. So she cons me into going with her and convinces a franchise, Kmart no less, that they ought to give her 40 sets of sweats at this low price because in the advertising, Lord knows, there was no limit. She did it! They ordered 40 sets of sweats. And then, okay, the con job isn't over yet, though. Now, she gets them to special order 40 sets of sweats in all these various different sizes. Okay, then she has to go back to the school and justify why they couldn't turn down such a great offer. Now, according to Joyce Wells, whose husband was on the school board at the time, there were some big-time family disputes when Dad's job as board member didn't agree with daughter Brenda's support of our Miss Richter. I must tell you, we did end up with those sweats. Like the stripes. Get ready, girl. It's almost participation. It was Linda in the famous Mrs. Bus Driver. Who introduced me to those long, crazy bus rides all over this state. We crisscrossed this state trying to find people to play field hockey. You know, at that time I wasn't married. She even conned my roommate, who was a nurse, into being the honorary team nurse. She got on all her It was on these rides that our quiet, unassuming little Miss Richter, who teaches us morals, principles, sportsmanship, taught us the famous field hockey song. Take it, girls. 1, 2, 3. Roll me over in the world. Before the demise of GAA, what great memories. Oh, geez. We all sold Catherine Bite candy like crazy. Oh, in order to win these two great prizes, okay? The prizes were a canoe trip to Turkey Run, and then there was the famous ski trip to Villa Olivia, which was nothing but a converted country club with 2 little hills, you know? We thought we were in the big time, though. All right, well, that's my place. After the first year, Linda group was honoring Mr. Duck and Miss Richter, and Sudie, where are ya, yells out, "Gee whiz!" Linda goes up to accept an award in this nice skirt out. She said, "I never knew Miss Richter had legs." Well, she not only has legs, let me tell you. Before building her home in Oakwood, she had a pond and a garden there, and she'd get stress relief by going there on the weekends and mowing. She loves to mow. Well, I remember more than once having to wait at the gate while she put her top back on. She would never be caught dead without a holster and gun. That was to shoot the snakes. She hates snakes. In fact, one of my fondest memories is seeing this, you'll visualize, is seeing Linda Richter standing on the seat of her Cub Cadet, shoot a minimum of 10 times at this 10-inch garter snake. Now, besides losing her shorts and getting her all over tan without her top, I do have one more funny story about Linda and clothes. This is a good one. As one of my closest buddies, I couldn't get married without her. So I asked her to be in my wedding. And what I thought was a great-looking mint green bridesmaid dress. Well, now, some of you may have noticed that Linda and I are somewhat similar in that we aren't exactly well endowed. So, to fill out the dress on the top, she rolled up 2 sides. Well, she looked great, and nobody would ever have said a word if she hadn't broadcasted the section to Mr. Throne. Miss R also has a reputation of being cool, calm, and collected in catastrophe. How'd you like that alliteration, girl? Well, I'm sorry, but I'm going to open your eyes. This lady is a ding-dong. When I was still single and living in the Hamlet, Linda came over and we decided to cook burgers. Well, I'd never used a broiler before, but she assured me she could handle this. Famous last words. Again, shortening the story, we soon had this humongous fire in my broiler, and I'm screaming, Linda, you're the smart one. What do we do? So she said, you put something white. White? What do you mean white? Flour, baking soda, baking flour, clean underwear? What? Just right. Well, needless to say, she was so rattled she couldn't tell me what to do. So, cooler heads prevail. I shut the oven door. I turned it off. We opened the patio door. And we went to Dairy Queen. So I get back to school, asked our resident expert here, Mr. Hendricks, and sure enough, he said, Pat, oh, is it a good thing you relied on your own intelligence? He didn't say that. No, I don't have it. He said, if you had put flour on it, you would have blown that whole apartment complex sky high. Last time I rely on her. I have to remember one more story I didn't put in here. We took CPR together. I almost failed. You know why? You learn the CPR, you're supposed to, hold the nose of the Annie. She couldn't remember that to save her soul. She was rolling like crazy coming out the door. She's great The reason Linda has been able to keep her figure for so many years is twofold. Number one, I just told you of her culinary skills. So it's no surprise she has to live on breakfast cereal. And I must tell you, her students over the years knew when she had run out of sugar smacks across the place. Because believe me, she needed it to sweeten her distance. The other reason she kept trim and fit is that, now this is a true thing, she never asked her students to do anything she wouldn't do. And I mean, that was running, skipping, jumping, push-ups, pull-ups, and some pretty weird coordination exercises on a mop handle. I remember one time she comes to my apartment and says, "Oh, Pat, this is a great exercise. Try it. You'll like it." Makes me take my mop off the mop handle. She's doing these contortionist things. I'm 10 years younger. She had me in tears. I couldn't do it. But I fixed her wagon. Because now I've become an exercise fanatic, and I make her partner with me in the Twin City Twosome every year. By the way, if any of you want to see the current reigning champs in the geriatric category, the Richter Drake duo will be in competition next Saturday, Crystal Lake Park. And if we lose Richter, I'm gonna hurt you. Linda has been a true professional during her career. In fact, she has always said that every teacher should be an English teacher. To this end, she uses words I don't even think exist. Miniaturate, bird-dauber, and everyone can remember her constant correction of, "May I?" and Linda is very creative. Remember the things she brought to Farmer City? Field hockey. She brought it. Daddy Jake night. Badminton and that famous coveted broken record award. Merry Mother's Night. Indoor bowling. Oh, and this is a good one. Self-defense class. Way before any other schools were teaching it, she had a silhouette of a man. Each in place on his anatomy mark, training her girls to get where it counted. Our male students were a little pleased. That's you.
She used to hide in the back of our cars, too.
Yeah. She had me with her. She even got the military to donate parachutes so she could do something with those. They could never understand that. They had tricycle races, played twister, did aerobics, played golf, roller skated. You know, with all that fun stuff, I'm surprised she even wants to retire. Her classroom is the most popular one in school. I mean, what's the first place to look for a missing student? In the gym. Or in the weight room, right?
Is that what I think it is? Yeah.
I can see what that is. Miss Richter teaches much more than athletic skills. She demonstrates and teaches sportsmanship, enthusiasm, fair play, kindness, hard work, the joys of competition, and how to be graceful in defeat. What other teacher was so admired that the mayor of the town proclaimed a Linda Richter Day? Right up there with Christmas, New Year's, and Grandpa! There are so many other memories staying at Karen Hieronymus Karch's house when we went to skate in track. The poor girl, we had her house smelling like vinegar. We all had sunburns. Another memory was sleeping on the worst spare bed in captivity when Richter still lived in her mobile home here in Farmer City. Hendricks, I'm sure you remember the slumber parties. What can I say? We had snowed in more than once, but chivalrous Mr. Hendricks would not spend the night. He would walk to the ends of the earth before there could be a rumor concerning him in this Mr. Hendricks, you're involved in this one too. I remember her dragging us, kicking and screaming, to our first X-rated movie. Levita, you can remember caravanning with 6 vehicles on those trips to Galena and listening to Mike's story of how this was his first toothache he's ever had. And I even remember more recent times in the famous mole hole thing. Those were the days. I even found the place she's hiding out now, you guys. Well, her former students and athletes are here tonight as a testimonial to this great lady. And she was talking so much, whether it was playing field hockey, putting up with her dog Spotty, or now Pistol, or just talking to her in that large, beautifully decorated office. Her colleagues are here because, well, since I get emotional, I'll start blubbering. We're here just because. And in closing, I really am almost finished. Miss Richter, let me just say, nobody could ever fill your shoes.
Here, here. I still think this is a fashion statement. You did good. Now, if anybody didn't have to deal with me, I mean, get to deal with me in high school, the lace on the pants is because she informed me my senior year it was either buy a new gym suit, put something on those legs. I can see your underwear. I've had it. I want the legs lengthened. She told me, lace, denim, I don't care. It's something on the legs. So I put lace on them. Just kept running down. And I thought they were long enough. It's been 75 years ago. You see this engine standing there. The dreaded bandana. Ex-Bacilla called it the babushka. No lace on the legs. All right, I'll give you these shorts.
I'll go my way. How you Now, first of all, I'd like to say one thing to Levita. Spending all of this time getting these girls together. They're Linda's girls, but they're my kids. I like my kids to stand up, say the word. And one other thing, if I'm never going to be here tonight, I'm studying my speech a lot better than I have. Because I'm afraid I'm going to make a complete fool of myself. All right. All right. Anyone who enjoys being a substitute teacher has to be a little weird and must have a captive audience. Here I am. There you are. After much begging, pleading, and best of all, a promise of a senior citizen discount as my motivation, I decided to pay tribute to a very dear friend and colleague, Miss Linda Richter. However, for the speaker's fee, She'll me or not?
The change for yeah, the change for your money. Yes, I love you.
I was informed that I needed a theme, and that I need not inform you learned people that my theme tonight is nostalgia. Way back in 1973, one of the first requests that I received as principal was to be a guest at GAA Playday. I thought to myself, how can I gracefully refuse and still enjoy the only sunny Saturday in September? Reluctantly, I accepted, for Linda's requests are really in order. To my surprise, the hockey game, well played, for girls. The pizza, chips, and Kool-Aid, frugality, Nostalgia. Before I retired, in May, for a number of years, I received an annual letter from Miss Richter. I always expected a note that was positive and complimentary. God. Each had the same introduction. I am resigning my position as an education teacher. For I truly believe that anyone can do a better job. I find it almost impossible to work with that fella who hogs my gig. I firmly feel that I'd be happier being a physical therapist. There is a job openings in a small town down the road from home. I don't believe that I contribute enough to community life. There needs to be a change in personnel and the curriculum. Therefore, I must resign. I keep that for year after year. Remember, she gets pretty snotty, well, then I can hold it. And finally, I'm totally burned out. And my girls need a more caring teacher. I want you to notice that at one time, this uncle was white. As learned people can see, dumbbells are tattered and gravy stained. For each time she entered her resignation, I would counter with professional zeal. I say, hey, you knucklehead. You need more time to think this over. Sure enough, about 2 weeks later, Linda would return to my office and meekly confess, well, now that school is over and the seniors have come down to say goodbye, that they will miss little me, I guess I will stay just one more year. N-O-S-T. My goodness. I can't spell, much less pronounce that. Not long ago, maybe 15, perhaps 20 years ago, I was sitting in my office diligently doing paperwork, which I really, truly enjoy. Suddenly, I heard an explosion of commotion in the outer office. Before I had time to get out of my chair, a very infuriated coach was in front of my desk with fire flashing from her eyes. Miss Richter blurted out, do you know what that Mr. Maynard had the guts to say to me? Disregarding me as if I didn't exist, she continued. He said, this was a quote, he said that he would rather watch paint dry than see my girls play basketball. Needless to say, she finally calmed down, and as her blood pressure began to drop, I smiled gladly, almost glad. Then I realized that if looks would kill me, I'd be a dead dog. said from the gut. Together, yeah, together. How about, remember the old E? All right, let's do it one more time. S-U-C-C-E-S-S. Hey, people, you're going to do this all night. All right. How can the veteran staff member?
We'd rather listen to you do it.
Oh, I did that every year. That was all my time. All right. How can the veteran staff members ever forget the early years of interscholastic athletics? When field hockey, basketball, track and field, and FCM played prominent positions in IHS sports. Remember the big one. Remember when we played for the field hockey championship of the state of Illinois? Okay, and can you remember Linda Soft becoming Mike's varsity in basketball? And station wagon filled with goodies, girls, and sleeping bags heading for Charleston. These things led Linda to always say, I have never coached a loser. Anyone who plays for me and participates is a winner. Excuse me. I've talked so long, I forgot for my supper, I've forgotten what I was here to do. Oh, yes. That's refuge to a winner. In the most famous movie of all time, The Wizard of Oz, Colonel Chicken Sanders made this famous quotation, which I've forgotten. But the gist of the statement is this, and I quote, people like Linda Richter are always winners, but too damn dumb to know it. The only way that they ever will is to have a medal, compliments of Mr. Bloomer, and a certificate suitable for framing, designed by a cheapskate Ron to attest to this fact. And off your duff, so that I can represent to you a true winner. Why, oh, I'm really not a chauvinist, but I've always wanted some good-looking chick to follow. This came from...
Other people who would like to say anything about Linda? I think Becky has over there.
Okay, well, I'm going to go back, way back to 1967 when I first met you. And I was the cheerleading mascot for the Farmer City Farmers. Okay, and at this time, my older sister, Debbie, was the cheerleader. And Linda was the cheerleading sponsor back then. I talked to Deb last night, who told me that she would probably never forget the trouble she and Shannon Spar used to cause. And she actually said, congratulations. And she's just has the best of luck. Okay, and Linda had a way back then when I was in second and third grade. And she just made me feel at ease being a mascot and everything. And she taught me how to, she was a friend and she helped me feel important. And at ease when I cheer with those older cheerleaders. And I look forward to take part in PE and GAA when I got to high school in 73 to 77, knowing Linda was in charge. And she was always someone who seemed a lot of fun and somebody who would be good to be around. And my love for sports helped me get to know Linda more, and she knows her sports. Whether it's basketball, softball, I can go on and on. Track and field hockey, volleyball, badminton, tennis, or you name it. She knows the rules. Okay, in track and field, when I would not win at those low hurdles, or in a relay or a dash or the long jump, Linda would never let me feel bad about myself. She always, kept you going and give you compliments, confidence, and always help you do better next time. When I was rude. Okay, well, Linda, you are so special to all of us. And you really realize that you are one of the only teachers who became a farmer and then became a blue devil. And you'll be riding away as a blue knight. Okay, in those good old high school days, Linda and I have many good heart-to-heart talks, and I know all of you can talk about these heart-to-heart talks you had with her. But Linda was always there, and she never closed the door in my face when I needed somebody to talk about different situations I used to get myself in. And she helped me grow up a lot in high school. And you became a very dear and good friend. But in 1976, when I was recovering from my car wreck, our special friendship was proven. And as often as she could, Linda was there at the hospital to cheer me on and help me in my recovery. And through her prayers, and she was a support to my family and to myself. And dear friends like Linda were those who helped me, you were there even when I didn't know you were there, you know what I mean? And I'm talking to all of you. Yeah. And you gave my family a lot of comfort and reassurance at that time, and they appreciated it very much. So, Linda, here's to you. Hats off to you. And for being a great PE teacher, a cheerleading sponsor, a fantastic coach, and above all things, being a special cheerleader. And thanks so much.
I think you'll now understand light-fingered buying.
Thank you.
Congo, Congo,
Congo,
Jimmy, my, Congo,
Congo,
happy, kumbaya,
happy kumbaya,
ooh, ale,
ooh, ale,
Molly, Molly,
Molly, Molly,
Molly, Romeo.
What does that song mean? Does it have any meaning?
Congo?
Yeah.
I told you that. You forgot. It's the Indians used to sing that, and they're very far apart.
But what does it mean? You don't know, do you?
It means welcome, friend.
First of all, I'd like your autograph, please.
You got my picture. Well, I didn't know. I was not seeing.
Haven't you even looked at your book there?
No, I haven't.
Hey,
I was really upset when those pictures
it
were
always
sent.
helps to have a key.
Everybody has one.
Thank you very much.
In addition, I won't mention my accomplices' names. However, we believe that you should always have a part of your past as of school.
Oh, no, I don't want it.
I cross my heart. It's
All right.
not a mistake. This is part of school in the past, and this is to help you remember school life.
It won't fight.
It's not a lie.
It's not a mistake.
It doesn't.
Thank you. I didn't mean to be rude. You don't even know me. Oh my, it's so sharp. I'm so excited to be that excited about a pencil. Look at this. Isn't that neat? A lot older than me. We can share.
Richter, you know about half the girls' budget?
It's all yours now. You can back all you want. Is there anybody else who wants to say anything? Anybody else?
I was just stretching my legs.
I have one comment. I'm here, I think, as a delegate of non-athletic girls that had to go through her PE class. And if you want a challenge in life, be non-athletic in Miss Richter's class. You weren't that bad. But I do have one question that I've pondered all these years out of high school. Okay? I've had many jobs since I've graduated from high school, and nobody yet has asked me to hit a volleyball against the wall. So how did you make me do that so many times?
Oh, my sister. Shh. Yeah. Oh. This is my sister Margaret. First. She also thought I was going to get baked. My brother Tom's here. There's 10 in my family. People do have spouses also in there. I can tell you. I also have my handsome young nephew over here. There's one of them. Right there. Wait, there's my handsome great niece. I used to just say niece, and her fiance there. Ain't no Florida.
And she runs in here, so I'm supposed to get your husband. And one from Norman.
I don't have.
Just a couple of things, Linda, while you're standing there. One is going to be a question. Another one is to maybe shed some light on you that perhaps some of these people, some of them probably are aware of it, but probably most of them aren't. You know, I'm sitting here and hearing all these wonderful things about this wonderful lady, from her colleagues, from probably most important to her kid. And you know, it's an aura. It almost takes on a saintly personality. I'm just about to, and you're not going to like that, I know. But the question I have, Linda, is there was a story when I came here in the early 70s, and a story that I heard, and I just want you to verify it or indicate that it's not true. And I think the two people involved were Jim Foster and Jerry Goodman. And of course, anybody that knew Jim Foster knew what a character he was. So this may not be totally true. But the story goes that she was outside in the gym by the door that went into the then coach's office. And apparently it was after a ball game. And the door was closed. And she asked if she could come in, and Jim said yes.
The door wasn't closed.
Then you went out on your own volition and saw that guy in the bus that was in there? Now, I assume that part was the truth, but the question I want to ask you is it true that they had to pull you out of the bus?
Is there anyone else?
Oh, one more here. Lynn and I have coached together for a few years, just a couple. And we've had some good times, bad times. And the battle for women's athletics has been interesting, hasn't it, Linda, at times? And the one thing that I have to say as someone that worked with her, those ideals, that's an important thing, win, lose, or draw, that we try to get through and do things the right way. And you don't always see that in athletics now. And anyway, we appreciate it, but I have a little habit. I don't get mad at the officials and kick and yell at them. If someone's not playing defense in the lane, clipboards tend to go, down on my thigh. One stitch is in my hand. That way, we wouldn't want to handle school property that way, so I was usually Linda's clipboards that took the abuse. And for the last one last year, Linda, we have one left over for you.
great. Pat, you did great. Levita, you know.
Yeah, I'm not talking because you threatened me.
I mean, it's so terrific to see everybody. Oh. You said I forgot you. I get it. You really, yeah. That's the reason I always hate to stand up here and say individual thank yous, because you always do somebody out there. People get their feelings hurt so easily. You know, I didn't realize that about myself. I didn't, if I offended any of you, I'm sorry. I'm sure I did. I offend myself sometimes. Yeah, not that way. But you know, just terminology, I never thought of these people as my girls, but they're just as good as anybody else. Somebody in Chicago, when we played up there, said, "Where's Farm City, Nashville?" We called what was it? What was the station up there? Yeah, we told them where we were, and they put it back on the news and said, "We just found out where Farm City is." I mean, we were playing up at Dutrier, and I can remember telling the field hockey team right there, it seemed like Westboro Sports, because we started with nothing. I mean, we basically had nothing. And there's nothing to be ashamed of or anything like that, but we did with what we had, and it's grown to great proportions by, and we lost a little bit on the way. But boy, it's sure great that you came here. I just think it's just great to all here. And I think it's very nice. Man, I can't believe I didn't know who you were. It blows my mind. It's been great. I've learned lots of idiosyncrasies. I have a lot more you don't know.
I'd be interested in those.
Afterwards.
He wants to get to know you. I usually have lunch hour duty, so I don't see Ken that much. You know, but I don't know, it's been really good, and I think there's good things to come. I have a little place, and sometimes I'd like for you to come over on one.
When?
Tonight. And it's really a nice little place, and anyway, I thank you for coming, for being here, for the people that you're just good people. I'll tell you something that's bothered me. Bob went to the University of Illinois. I took some graduate courses there. But I really got graded down big time. And I didn't finish my master's because the teacher said, you're going to have to cut from the squad, and you can't let everybody play. And I wrote a paper, and I said, I thought it was important to participate, and I still believe that. I believe you people are winners because, well, let's see. You wouldn't remember, Joyce should remember, Liz, you might remember, we didn't get a participation in anything. We got to cheer, we wanted to. But I think you are a winner. It's just get to participate. And no one has to agree with you, and I still have to. So, to me, you're all winners, and you always will. Even you, Pat. I'll tell you, he's got a family kid, and I think it's great. Thanks. Thank you.
Speak kind of the same lingo, but there's some